I'm Faith Kahende, and I'm serving as an FYM with the Office of New Student Programs here at the University of Pittsburgh to help new Panthers adjust to the transition into college life. As the semester winds down and we all head our separate ways, it's a good time to reminisce and get ourselves in the holiday spirit. Today we'll have a whole host of first-year mentors talking about their favorite holiday traditions with their friends and family. In this episode, we'll also be sharing some of our favorite holiday dishes. Have your pencils ready. We might just drop a secret recipe or two.
Hi, my name is Shrishti Jain, and I'm a junior at the University of Pittsburgh. My major is neuroscience with minors in chemistry and dance. I'm a part of the class of 2022, and I'm originally from Pune, India.
Hi, I'm Sarah Bast. I am a junior at the University of Pittsburgh, and I'm originally from New York. I'm majoring in psychology with minors in sociology and exercise science.
So my name is Faith. I'm majoring in neuroscience, minoring in chemistry with a couple of other certificates. I am a junior, so I'm planning on graduating in 2022, and I'm from Reading, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour outside of Philly. But personally, as always, I claim Philly. So we're just going to get started here and talk a little bit about our favorite holiday traditions and, what we're most excited for. So let's start with Sarah. What are some of your favorite holiday traditions that you have at your household? And if you are going home for break this year, what are you most excited for?
So I am going home for break this year. And the holiday that I get really excited for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. We celebrate both. But Thanksgiving, I think, is like the most traditional, that we have the most tradition with. So my family is from New York City, so I'm from outside of New York City, but my parents grew up in New York City. My grandparents are from there. My grandparents still live there. And we all go to my grandma and grandpa's house, my mom's parents, on Thanksgiving in her little tiny Queens house. I don't know if anyone knows what Queens houses look like, but they are 20 feet wide and I think 60 feet long. I don't know. They're not big. So, and they're all in a row. They all look the same. They're all built around the same time. So we managed to fit 35 people in that room, in their front room. So we have 2 long tables and everyone's elbow to elbow, which obviously isn't happening this year with COVID. So we have other plans and stuff, but usually that's what we do, and we all go there. They've been doing that since my parents were young, since my mom was little. So I think they just had their 25th anniversary doing it, something like that. They were talking about a few years ago. They're approaching 30 years of doing this. So unfortunately it's not happening this year, but that's probably the best part about it is I get to see that whole side of the family that we normally don't get to. And we all really make an effort to get there, which is really
Awesome. That sounds amazing. I'm sorry to hear that plans have changed due to the current circumstances, though. Shrishti, what are some of your favorite holiday traditions, and what are you most excited for?
So, since the time I came to US, I think my favorite holiday is definitely Christmas and Thanksgiving. That is something I didn't celebrate in India, but now it's just a part of my culture as well. I love decorating my house, having those mashed potatoes, something I never did, and now I totally enjoy it. But one of my favorite holidays, which we celebrate here in India, is Diwali. It is known as the Festival of Lights, and people light up their houses and shops with diyas, which are basically small cup-shaped oil lamps, and they're baked clay. So it's really nice to see everyone, light up their houses with fairy lights, diyas, and a number of colorful things. It is actually coming up. It's on November 14th, and I'm super excited for it because I get to see my entire family, and it's been a while since I've met everyone, so it's going to be exciting.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. In terms of me and my holiday traditions. So I'm Nigerian. My parents are from Nigeria. So initially, Thanksgiving wasn't really something that we did, but it's something that we've definitely picked up over the years. Our Thanksgiving has kind of, it's my favorite holiday also, but it's kind of fluxed over the course of like my childhood. So like initially, we didn't really do like the whole turkey thing because my mom's not really into turkey. But as Gloria and I got older and kind of have been to other people's Thanksgivings, it's something that we've incorporated a little bit more. But oftentimes, like, we still eat a lot of like Nigerian food. So whereas like the turkey might be like the main meal or like the main dish for some families, it's not at our house. It's very much like, oh, there's like a turkey over there if you want it, but here's like the main meal. So that's like super interesting. I'm actually not going home for break this year just because, you know, your girl has some MCAT studying to do. But something that I always look forward to is like on Christmas or like the day before Christmas, we actually do like a dance party. Like it's just four of us. It's just me, my mom, my dad, and my younger sister. And we do like we're so weird. I can't even imagine sharing this now, but we literally just like dance to like Christmas carols, like really upbeat Christmas carols, obviously, not like, you know, like the really slow ones. And we just dance to them in our living room and have a really good time until about midnight. And then we go to bed and we don't open any presents. We don't do anything like that. But it's like super fun. It's like togetherness, because oftentimes like the Christmas season can be super stressful depending on like gift buying, stuff like that, and all the other family stuff that sometimes comes along with that. So it's a great way to like kind of like relieve stress and just have a good time with our immediate family. All right, guys. So now comes the most important part of this podcast. If you have been on, good for you for staying on, because this is where the good stuff happens. So what is your favorite holiday dish? And I need it in really good detail here, folks. Like I need to be hungry after this podcast. And would you care to drop the secret recipe? Okay. So I'm gonna have Sarah go first.
Okay, so I can think of one dish specifically that we make for Christmas that my mom doesn't make any other time of the year. So just like quickly. So for Christmas, we do not New Year's. We do Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So my mom does a lot of cooking for a lot of people. I don't know how that's going to change for this year. I'm sure it will, but there's a lot going on. But one dish she only really ever makes for Christmas it's a casserole, sort of, I guess. I don't really know. Basically what it is it's broccoli, cauliflower with a ton of cheese, and it's awesome. It's so good. So I think what she does is, I've made it before, but it definitely wasn't nearly as good as hers. So she makes like cheese sauce, like bechamel sauce. So it's so awful for you. So it's milk, flour, and a ton of cheese, and you basically just keep it over like low heat, and you mix it in like different parts and stuff. It's really easy to burn. She's burned it almost every year. She burns it at least once, and she
Sarah, you don't gotta do her like that. You
Yes,
don't have to do her like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mom. It's not like a huge deal. You can always just make more, but she's always like, I burnt the bechamel sauce, or she gets so upset. I'm like, you can just make more. It's okay. She always gets so stressed out. I need to be there to calm her down, you know? So I think, yeah, so she makes that, but she also, like, flash boiling is definitely not the right word. It's not really blanching. It's kind of like they're not fully cooked by boiling them in the pot, but she does that with the broccoli and the cauliflower a little bit so it doesn't get, like, super mushy in the oven. And then she pours it, basically gets, like, like a baking sheet, not like a sheet, like a aluminum foil, like the disposable ones, like the really deep ones, and she puts it, what does she do? She does like layers of like broccoli and cauliflower, and then cheese, and then she also puts in a lot of breadcrumbs too, and she always makes her own breadcrumbs. She uses Ritz crackers, and she swears by this stuff. It's Emerald's Essence, like Emerald, like Bam, like Emerald, like the dude, like the chef, like the older chef. I don't know. I remember watching him when I was a kid, but he's not really like super around anymore. But he makes this spice called Emerald's Essence. It's like basically a bunch of different spices in one thing. And you can't find it, like, you can barely find it anywhere. So she loves, like, finding, she gets very excited when she finds it, and she puts it in like everything, and it tastes so good. And she puts a ton of it into breadcrumbs, and she puts it in the bechamel sauce too, for sure. I think she puts paprika in it too. It's not cayenne pepper, it's something else. Just to like give it flavor, so it's not just like cheese. And then it's like in layers, so like vegetables, cheese, breadcrumbs, like over and over. Just put a ton of breadcrumbs on the top, and then you just bake it, and then it's done. It's really easy to do, and it's so good because it's basically just cheese, which is the best part of basically any meal. So yeah, that's what we do.
Awesome. That sounds great. I'm super hungry. I'm super hungry.
Thank you.
All right, Tristy, what's good?
Oh my God, that sounds actually incredible. And I would love to eat that right now because it's dinner time here. But my favorite dish, I think that there are two. One which my mom makes, and one is something that I adopted as I came to the US. So in India, I never really had a cheesecake. I didn't know what a cheesecake was. I was just like, this sounds weird. Why would you have a cheese on a cake? Like, it just didn't sound appealing to me until I saw this episode on Friends where Mama's Little Bakery in Chicago and Ross and no, I think it's Rachel and Chandler. They just like eat the entire cheesecake, and it just looked so yummy and fluffy and light. And I was like, I need to make this. I was in Chicago at my brother's place, and I Googled this recipe for a vegan cheesecake because I'm a vegetarian, but I don't eat eggs. So that's the only thing that worked. And I found this recipe from Mommy's Home Cooking. And it was a nice strawberry cheesecake, which I went down to, I think, I don't even remember where I went to buy the stuff, but I got like graham crackers, unsalted butter, cream cheese, condensed milk, vanilla extract, and strawberry. Oh, I think I got blueberries. And I made the blueberry sauce since, like from scratch. I made the whole cheesecake from scratch, and it just turned out so yummy and nice that I fell in love with it. And I love that recipe of mine. That's the only thing I know how to bake. And it was delicious. It was nice, light, creamy, and just the perfect taste, I think, that a cheesecake should taste like in my mind. And another recipe that my mom makes during Diwali is called a rasgulla. So again, I have a sweet tooth. So it is made from cottage cheese. So you take milk, you curdle it up, and then you make like small dumplings out of it. And you let it boil for a time until like it's I don't know, I think like until it's very small, and then it just like puffs up in size. And then you take that ball and put it into a light sugar syrup and let it absorb all that sweetness. And then you just eat it. Like it's just the best thing you would ever have. And if I am in Pittsburgh, I would take you guys to Bombay Market, and it tastes absolutely delicious. Like I can't make it, but it's absolutely delicious. So yeah, I guess like those two are my favorite dishes.
I'm so hungry. All right. So for me, like, first of all, I want everybody to know that I'm not dropping any of my secret recipes because absolutely not. I can't let that secret go, okay? But what I will say is that there are also two things that like I really enjoy that we make for like around the holiday time. So the first thing is something that my sister and I make, which is mac and cheese. And if you know anything about mac and cheese, it has to be prepared. It has to be prepared correctly. Okay. So my sister and I actually have, over the course of maybe like the last 4 years or so, perfected our recipe in such a way that it is always a runaway favorite at Thanksgiving. So I'm not going to give you any details, but just know that there's cheese involved. Mac and cheese, there's cheese involved. Okay. Maybe several different types of cheese also. Can't give it away. I can't. In terms of like other stuff, like my mom, she's a great cook, and one of the best things that I think that she makes is a goosey soup. It's very Nigerian. It's made with like spinach and like goosey seeds and like all sorts of like really really great stuff. I can't even like completely like describe how good it is because it's amazing. But as I said previously, oftentimes the turkey tends to not be center stage, and my mom's goosey soup takes center stage, and usually eat it with like pounded yam or something of that nature. So it's always really, really good. I really, really enjoy it. And I'm going to miss it this year, not being able to go back home this year.
You know what's so funny is my mom makes like amazing mac and cheese, and she always makes it for Christmas, but she also doesn't only make it for Christmas. Sometimes throughout the year, like she'll like spoil us with it. Like it's like football's on, or she make like chili and mac and cheese. Like she makes really good chili too. But yeah, her mac and cheese is like awesome. So like, but I agree. Like there's a certain way to make mac and cheese, and like it's very specific. So
exactly, I agree, and it takes years of perfection. I truly 100% believe that.
Mm-hmm. Same for my mom.
So hungry right now. Like, whenever I think of mac and cheese, it's just like my comfort food.
I agree. I feel like I think like a lot of the foods that we talked about today, and even like the traditions, are the things that make us feel like most at home and make us feel most comfortable. What do you guys think?
I agree. Definitely. I think it's like part of what makes it so good. Yeah.
And the best part is that, you know, how you talked about Nigeria, and I've seen so many Indians out here do the same thing. Like turkey isn't the main jazz about the whole Thanksgiving holiday. It's mostly like appreciating both cultures, and it's like an amalgamation. Like everyone is celebrating everyone's festival, and it's a blend of both like your own tradition and what others follow. So it's really nice to see everything come together during the holiday season, and everyone's in that holiday spirit to celebrate Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever it may be, but it's just fun to see everyone come together.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank our FYMs for being here today. Thank you to Sarah and to Shristi. Thank you guys so much for being on the podcast today. It was great to talk about all the amazing food that we hope to eat over this break. I'm very excited to eat very well. But with that being said, we're going to actually close out this podcast today. Thank you to everybody for listening, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning into our episode on family traditions and food recipes. Stay tuned for more episodes in the How to Succeed in Your First Year at Pitt series. Hail to Pitt.